fact, and we have to
fear on both sides. So.
And we really have to see it, that this paranoia and this not being able to trust and not being able to live your values is here, and probably also in other countries. They're not exclusive. Yeah, so that's what I mean. So it's kind of a very small hellish state. And then in the hells is much worse.
You can see what's going on in Syria.
For example.
So we are in a...
Syria is definitely in the hells.
We had a precious human life.
Yeah, even in Syria you can have a precious human life, because you see, this is talking about that because they still have a human body, whereas hell beings don't have a human body. They cannot transform their suffering because the suffering is too big. This is why they say the human state is the best state to practice Dharma, because we have some pain, but we also have pleasures, and we have some respite of the pain. So that's why. But in Syria, it would be incredibly difficult to have a course like this while the bombs are falling and all. Do you think you would be sitting here and listening to the bombs and take this as your object of attention? I doubt. Whereas here, you hear the birds, you can, or your children, you can take this as an object of.
Yeah, but we have a sense of peace in this country that is maintained because we put a lot of effort.
Yes, yeah.
No, it's not necessary. I have friends from the left side, not to the extreme, the middle left, and they are afraid now at certain places to claim their opinions or put a
So they
sticker
can
on
come
the
to Tel
car.
Aviv, where I live. So
They are
The
from
boy
Tel
Tel
Aviv.
Aviv,
They are from
right?
Tel Aviv.
It's
So what
Yeah,
I'm
but-
saying, it's happening also here. So let's not
so the
make.
opposite also happening here, because in Tel
Yeah,
Aviv
yeah, yeah. It's always a yes, but there is also.
you cannot speak the other extreme in Tel Aviv, not even the extreme. So
Paranoia
so
is
everything.
different.
It's a
Paranoia
very,
is
very,
definitely there, but it's still not a hell state. Okay, so we're still free from being born in a hell state. Also, it can be a little bit similar, the whole thing. Then we need to be free of being born as a hungry ghost. So hungry ghost realm, again, we talk about this, what it is tomorrow, is where you never find what you need. Yeah, so that can be, you can also, if you want to transfer it into this world, can be an addict, when has never have enough, never has, always searching for it to fulfill these basic needs. So we're not like this. So the way you do this contemplation is the way we did it before dinner, right? You kind of go, how would it be if I would be born, if you want, in Syria? Okay? But then you go like, no, I'm not. So then you go like, even though it's not so great also in this country, but still it's also not so bad. So then you start to appreciate the situation that you're in, that you can use it. Do you see what I mean? It's kind of manipulating your own mind so that you appreciate what you have. Okay? Is that clear, or is it not so clear? Yeah? Okay. Then we also need to be free from being born as an animal. This we are, because as we said, animals cannot practice. In general, I don't know about dolphins and, you know, Skippy and all these animals that we had when I was a kid. We had these TV series with Fury, who was a black horse saving people all the time. Skippy, who was a kangaroo, also kind of they're talking like this. And then we had, what is the dolphin's name? Skipper? Huh? Flipper, not Skipper, sorry. So anyway, so these animals, yeah, they might have been bodhisattvas, I don't know. But anyway, in general, it's not so great to be an animal also, because you're very dependent. And also there's a lot of fear in the animal realm. Either you have to hunt in order to eat, or you are being hunted. And so, you know, like if I look at the rats in Dharamsala we had in the Gompa, so just be happy that you're in Israel and you don't have rats in the Gompa. If you're in Tushita, in the old Gompa, I don't know, probably not in the new one, but anyway, the old Gompa was just wood, and there were so many corners and angles, and sometimes they would put the mice, not the rat, they would put their children in the katas behind the tankas. They had little mouse nest. So we never killed them, you know. It's just that we have these traps where you try to get them, and then you bring them to the forest and release them. You probably come straight back. But even they were afraid of us. Even they knew that we would not kill them. Like none of them ever got killed. Still, they would run away. They were not able to understand this is actually a safe place here. You know, I might get caught, but they will never get killed. So. Okay, then one thing I didn't mention in the meditation before dinner, I don't know if somebody noticed it. Also a condition that makes it very difficult to practice if you're reborn as, or if you're in a state of, exactly. If you are being reborn where everything is too good, you know, your mind is nice, you're compassionate, open heart, people are nice to you, absolutely no financial problems, also no mental issues, you know, because there are people like this. I know rich people like this also. Have totally no mental issues. They're happy. They share what they have also. They're totally normal, totally relaxed. It's like nice to see also. And those two that I know personally, they do practice. But I know others like schoolmates of mine who have, who have a kind of succeeded really well in their life, like they're doctors or lawyers or I don't know. And then they look at me and they go like, oh, so what have you achieved, kind of thing. Yeah. So then when they look at me, they sometimes, even in a compassionate way, they say like, well, you know, it's nice what you're doing, but I don't need to do that. I'm happy. I say, well, I'm very happy that you're happy. I'm really glad. But still, it's good to practice. No, I don't even say that. I leave it at that because there's no point. And I could tell them I'm not practicing because I'm unhappy, but I'm practicing because I know I can be happier, and especially I can be kinder. And if somebody asks you, what are you doing? If you tell them that you're trying to develop a good heart, nobody will object. So if you start talking about enlightenment and the full awakening and all this, they go, oh. But if you say, I'm trying to develop a good heart, to become a non-harming person and to be as helpful as possible, nobody will object. It's fine. These people do accept. Then a Christian would ask, well, can't you do this as a Christian? Then I say yes. But somehow I didn't have access to these teachings. My parents were non-religious. They thought church is bad. So this is what I grew up with, so that's how I was conditioned. And so like that. It's called the long-living God, where you're totally absorbed in your kind of meditative concentration. It's very blissful, it's very nice, but you don't have, all you're yearning for is to have more absorptions, and then by that you're burning up all your positive karma, and then you plunge again, you're not making any progress.
The God who limits the absorptions?
Huh?
The God's realm is the absorptions?
Well, long-living God is also, it can also be like in the form and formless realm, not just necessarily the God realm that is in the desire realm. Yeah. So they're also talking about like the absorptions in the formless realm. So this is a rebirth there. The cause for that is when you do a lot of meditation and you're very ethical, but you only do it to have peace of mind. And then you have shamatha and all this is developed, and because you can go deeper and deeper and deeper, and this causes a rebirth in one of these states. So this is why it's very important when this is great what Glenn is doing with you, that he's doing both sides, like the concentration, but also the method side, why you are doing this, in order to develop love and compassion, in order to be of benefit to others. Because otherwise you manipulate yourself into a very high state, which is very blissful, but then it also finishes, it also ends. So that can also be a hindrance, so we have to be free of that. So whenever you think your life is not good enough, you can go, oh, good thing I'm not a long-living God somewhere in a form or formless realm. Then what is also a hindrance, we also have to be free from having wrong views. Views like, for example, there is no such thing as me having Buddha nature and that I can develop a mind which is free of all negative emotions. That would be, in Buddhist terms, not only in Buddhist terms, would be a wrong view. Because why? Why is that a hindrance to attain enlightenment? You will not stumble across enlightenment just like this. You have to actually, with this structured path, you have to go on this path. Yeah, so that's why. So when you don't believe in in your potential, you're not going to look for it. Wrong view would be you don't believe in the law of cause and effect, that your actions actually have consequence, be they positive or negative. It's not that when we talk about karma, it's just negative karma, it's also positive karma. Yeah, usually people only talk about karma when something negative happens. Yeah, but also you sitting here, and well, sorry, not having the best of the teachers, so that's also your karma. So in a way, you sitting here is like positive karma, because you're getting exposed to things that you could do in order to free yourself from all suffering. So that needs a lot of positive karma. So this is why also sometimes the Lama say, don't drag just anybody to the teachings and think that they will benefit from it. You also need to have the fertile ground, which is your positive karma, where these seeds can fall and then can bring some result. You can still expose them to it, but don't drag them to it if they don't want to come. Another hindrance, or we also have to be free from, being in a place where there's no spiritual teachings. Yes, Leora?
Usually in text I see, for a wrong view in this context, only two examples. Past and future lives and disbelief in the law of karma.
Mm-hmm.
Only these two examples. Does it mean that these are the two wrong views, only the two wrong views for having for not having
well, yeah, I
if I
think
actively disbelieve in the dependent origination. Dependent origination. If I actively disbelieve in it, I claim that
but then you don't believe in the law of cause and effect if you don't believe in dependent origination.
Okay, so it's included.
Yeah.
So Buddha nature is included somehow? No.
Buddha nature is not really included, but it says also, like, one of the things, not believing in the object, which means like the power of the Buddha sometimes is also there.
But I never saw it as an example for wrong view in this context.
I've seen it, that it's like
So it's
not
not
believing that you can attain Buddhahood is one of the wrong views. Not believing in that there is Buddhahood, basically. Not believing in the Buddha. Or having sometimes it's called having no faith in the object, I think. And the object is Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Then you need to be free from being born in what is called a barbaric place, where there is no Dharma. So usually they say, this might change also, all these things can change. Usually say like a central land is where there is at least where you have the fourfold Sangha, meaning fully ordained monks, nuns, and novices, male and female. Sometimes they also include lay practitioners who have vows, and it's like 6 upasakas and upasikas. But usually it's monks or nuns, because they are the ones who are supposed to uphold the teachings. But I see now also there's a lot of very good lay practitioners and teachers, like Westerners, Buddhist teachers. So also John Dumpa, he was a lay person, was a great practitioner. But still, maybe as if you decide to become monk or a nun, at least that's the purpose of your life. You're not deciding to become monk or a nun because you want to go live in a monastery and say, okay, then they feed me, and then then I'm being cared for. Because for Westerners, it's not the case. We still have to look after ourselves. So it's not like in Thailand, where you have medical treatment and transport and everything is free if you're a monk or a nun, and people feed you like if you go begging or you both. So it's not exactly like this in the West. Although we do get a lot of support. If we're out, this is the thing. If we're outside and we deliver something to the lay community, then we are supported. Whereas if you say, oh, I'm going into retreat, it's very difficult to find a sponsor who sponsors you just for being in retreat as monk or as a nun. And also Westerners are much more expensive than Tibetans or Indians or whatever. So a barbaric place would be a place where you're not allowed, for example, to practice. Like Tibet used to be a place like this, because you'd say you were following the Dalai Lama, you were tortured, put into prison, and things like that because of the Chinese army. And also you have to be free from having limited capacities. Meaning, I used the example, like 100 years ago, Tibetan Buddhism was definitely existent, was definitely practiced, but for us, totally unattainable because we don't understand. We don't understand the language. Whereas now, so many translations, but also having not having the mental capacities to be able to understand. So that's what we have to be free from. So when we have these 8 freedoms, then it's like it's half of this precious human rebirth, because it also needs 10 endowments, or 10 something that you have, right? So then, first one is being human, of course. In order to have precious human rebirth, you need to be human. Then the other one is a little bit, again, the same as like being free from being born in a barbaric place. You need to be, in order to be able to practice, you need to be born, or at least you need to have access to a place, to a central place where the Dharma is still present with monasteries or monks and nuns. So they say one Sangha is at least 4 fully ordained monks and nuns, and novices, and female novices and male novices.
The internet is not enough these days?
Huh?
The definition is not changed with the communications these days, with
well,
the internet?
Well, not officially, so we still have to go. But again, even if it's not officially changed, we can see that it changes. Yeah, like now we would almost say the whole world, except for maybe Syria and Afghanistan and these other places where there is absolutely not possible. Huh? North Korea, exactly, is also an example where it's absolutely not possible, even through internet to get these things. So otherwise the rest of the world pretty much has become a central land, I would say, for access. Then having all sense organs intact. So again, if we don't have that, it's not a total no-go, we can't practice, but it makes it very difficult. Like we had a blind man in Dharamsala for a few years, and whenever he wanted to go down to the lessons in the library, he had to be taken by the hand. And even I, I took him almost every day for a while, but even I felt sometimes when I was in a hurry, I felt like just sneaking by him because he didn't see me. Yeah. I felt like. I didn't do it, but the instinct is there. It's not convenient now. And also, sometimes the Tibetans would look at us in a really strange way because he was wearing sunglasses and I was holding his hand. So, it's an absolute no-go for a nun to hold a man's hand. So then I didn't, can't go and explain to everybody what's going on here. So, yeah, but I felt the thing that just, this is how I am. I don't know if you, every time you have an opportunity to help, you instantly reach out. Do you? Yeah, of course you do. So you should be sitting here and teaching me in that case. Also, this whole thing, when I told you about stealing, how it creates habits, I still get myself, for very little money, that I have in Bern, we have buses, and there's long distance and short distance. So of course the short distance is like $50 cheaper, $50. So I've cards to stamp. So I feel myself sometimes wanting to cheat because one station more makes it long distance $50 more. So there's this instinct of putting in the short kind of distance card, and then but I catch myself. And the other day I really punished myself and I bought a month's card, which I never kind of I never travel so much for that price, but it was as a punishment, so that I can't cheat anymore. So this is what I do. Yeah, seeing these little things that I do, these little tendencies that I do, and trying to do something about them. Just seeing them is good, but seeing them not with shame or embarrassment or whatever, but to see how strong these habits are. Yeah. Here is, I think, always the same price, is it, for the bus? Also, you can't because it's the card and it goes beep and that's it.
Here?
Yeah, in Israel. In Tel Aviv, at least. Tel Aviv, yeah. Okay. Having all sense organs intact. So you see, we have eyes, we have ears, we can talk, we can walk. We never appreciate that. And these senses are so fragile. Yeah, like one of my ears that's it, it's gone. So if that one goes also, then that's it. I don't have a third one. I might have a third eye somewhere, because they say sometimes there's 3 eyes, but I know there's only 2 ears. So if that one goes as well, then that's it. Or I know other people only have 1 eye. Yeah, so then... Huh?
Good for them that they have the other one.
Yeah, good for them at the beginning there were 2, but if that second one goes, then that's it. So, you know, when we feel discontent and like this, then just maybe the thought, hey, but I can see. What would my life be if I could not see? I couldn't go anywhere alone. Or you can. I also know blind people who are very agile with their cane or with dogs. But man, it's difficult to learn. Yeah, and they also, if they wish to see, because life is made for hearing people, for seeing people, for people who have 2 arms and 2 legs. This is what our world is made for. And you only notice that it's only made for healthy people when you start to get sick. Yeah, just maybe if you only have 1 hand because one is broken, you see there's so many things that you do daily where you need 2 hands. And then you have to ask somebody else to do it for you. Yeah? So again, it's about, first thing is about appreciating it, and the second thing is like, with this kind of body, I can really practice. If 1 arm is missing, you can still practice. If you're blind, you can still practice. But it makes it much more difficult. Much more difficult. Then another personal one is not having committed the 5, they're called heinous crimes, like the 5 very big crimes, like having killed voluntarily and with a lot of joy your father or your mother because they gave you this life. So that's one of the biggest things they say, because you owe a lot to your parents, you owe them your body. One other one is creating a split in a spiritual community, but then also here there's different views on that. They say it means causing a schism while the Buddha was still around. So I don't know, but I think it's not such good karma to voluntarily cause a split, like you can't bear that this group is harmonious and you want to have some of them coming over to your side. All this is involved in this. And you want to propagate your own views, which are different, and you want students. So you on purpose, you create a split, you create a conflict in a community that is working quite well, and then the split happens, and then people stop practicing. Well, that's not good karma. So that's why they say it's quite heavy, because you stop people from continuing to practice. Then you need to have faith in the teachings and in your own ability. Then you make progress, because there's a lot of side effects who are not pleasant in that Dharma practice there. Then there are 5 other conditions that are more like outside, like it says an enlightened being has appeared in the period where we live, so we still know that there was Shakyamuni Buddha. And how, I don't know if he looked like this or what, but still so that's one thing. He has to have appeared in that time span or time period. The teachings, he has taught the path to enlightenment, because the Buddhas are always around but not manifesting as Buddhas, and they don't teach. And then the teachings remain in an undegenerated state. This is, some of them yes, but I think if one would give the teachings in a totally undiluted state, the way the Buddha taught, we wouldn't have many people coming, because you need to have a lot of positive karma there to be able to continue, because it's quite boring, because there's a lot of repetition. It was very, very difficult to understand. So Many people come to classes or to courses because they want to be entertained and have a good time. So, and then it degenerates. You know, like I just know one center again in Austria, they said we really have to rethink what we're doing, because they had yoga classes and hiking classes with awareness meditation in the morning and all this. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that it's not defined what it is and where it comes from and what the goal is. So they started to go back on that. They say, okay, we will only have teachers very clear that they're Buddhists, what lineage they are, and what they're teaching and what the goal is. So that will prevent some people from coming because they don't want to do anything with Buddhism. So it's a very courageous step. But it contributes to that the teachings remain in an undegenerated state. But then you can also say, but the Dalai Lama is saying that we should be able to give Buddhism to people without calling it Buddhism. So again, it's like, what is what? So, yeah. Probably an aspect of our confused time, trying all kinds of things, not knowing what is right and what is wrong. And so the teachings also still need to be practiced, because otherwise we're in the only one. It's very difficult to practice, we won't do it. And people in general are kind-hearted. Like, it's still considered a good thing that you want to develop a good heart. If everybody tells you that you're an idiot, then you will probably also stop quite soon. Or what do you think? Huh? Have you ever met that? That somebody said, you're so stupid, you're with your kindness. So naive to be kind.
Yes.
Huh?
Naive, yes. Naive is
What is Itzik saying?
naive. They said naive,
Yeah, they tell you that you are naive. So that is some of them, but not everybody. But then when you show them, when they need your kindness, then they don't think it's naive. And so the best way also to teach them something a little bit is like, when they need your kindness, then they say, oh no, I stopped being naive, so maybe I can't help you, you look after yourself. Yeah. So we have to make a choice. It's true that sometimes people can think, wow, she's really stupid that she's so kind and helping all the time. But I think these people come around also after a while, And if we wait for everybody else to be kind and to be non-harming until we make the step to be kind and non-harming, well, we can wait for a long time, I think. We can start. And I saw it when Shoshana started to pick up the garbage, this morning a little bit. This is something you can do if you go for a walk. Take a plastic bag with you. There's plenty of them lying around. And instead of getting upset about the garbage that lies around, if you do get upset, pick it up. It's okay. And you don't have to do all of it because there's no end to it. You start in one corner, it's like you can go. We can also get upset at these people who do it. They don't know anything better. They haven't learned to put it in a bin. But we can do it for them. When we say, I will lead everybody to enlightenment, then we can't even pick up their garbage. So I don't know where our bodhicitta, where we are with our bodhicitta. But soon enough, somebody came to help you. Yeah. So it's very. We can go ahead with doing things. Sometimes we don't do it because we do feel a bit stupid, or we feel a bit embarrassed, or something like that. But no need. You can just go ahead and do it. But you don't have to pick up the garbage. It's not your garbage. You didn't throw it on the floor. I hope. I hope you are a bit, because spiritual practice and being careful about the environment goes together. For me, I think that is one package. You can't just take from the environment and not care about the environment and throw everything out. It's also one thing that I don't know if you're still doing it, that I was trying to do, that you separate the garbage a little bit, like the plastic, because they're down there, they have a wonderful recycling station, which has paper, plastic, tins, and clothes, if you want, also you can throw there, and glass. Yeah. And organic also. But in the organic, in the brown ones, there's always all kinds of stuff. So it's nice. I think it's nice. Even though maybe the garbage truck comes and puts everything in one. Still, from your side, you